Coming from Politico, Trump is making it harder for the Supreme Court to side with him. A haphazard approach makes it more likely the Supreme Court rules against him. President Donald Trump has embarked on the most ambitious and wide-ranging effort to change the country's constitutional system in at least half a century. He may well get there, but the way he's been going about it is undermining his own chances of success. Trump's list of dramatic executive actions grows by the day. The massive spending freeze and the widespread firings with the federal government, the decision to ignore various laws, not to mention the work Elon Musk's Doge, which has neutered multiple federal agencies. All of these moves have two things in common. They all appear to be illegal under laws that Congress has passed, and they all reflect a bid to dramatically expand the power of the presidency and significantly diminish the power of Congress. Trump's not writing or coming up with these executive orders. Let's make that clear. 2, Trump has no idea what Elon Musk is doing, and whatever Elon Musk tells him, Trump is agreeing with. He looks on at this man adoringly. Trump finally has a cool friend, and Musk is relishing in being the cool friend. The powers that Trump wants to expand, does he believe that it's for the president of the United States? Yes. But let's also not forget, Trump doesn't understand the scope of the presidency. Ultimately, Trump will expand powers for Musk. And we have to think, is that really what we want? Is that really what we're going to stand by and allow to happen? The apparent violations of federal law are a feature, not a bug, of the effort. The Trump administration is expecting legal challenges and hopes that they can change long-standing principles of constitutional law with the assistance of a Supreme Court that is stacked in favor of Republicans after decades of conservative activism and political hardball. No, let's tell the truth. They weren't expecting lawsuits. They weren't expecting to have to go through the Supreme Court. That's not what they were expecting at all. They were expecting these crazed nominations to go through sooner and quicker, because the first Trump term, he used people who were actual politicians, who knew how DC worked. He wanted to maneuver within there. This time, he's using people that he feels are loyal. Remember, he's stuck on the 80s and ratings. So you got big ratings, he thinks that you're big qualified. And he thought that his picks would already be in place. And the plan he had in his mind would just be executed without him relaying this plan to anybody. But lawsuits, they weren't a part of the plan. This is why his top lawyers aren't in places that they can argue on his behalf. And if you would really pay attention to SCOTUS, yes, Trump did attempt to stack the court. But look at the leanings of the court right now, especially with them being under a microscope. Because how we thought Amy Coney Barrett was going to be, now that she's beginning to separate from her advisor, from the cult that she's a part of, she's not really going the way that everybody thought. It's time to move away from talking points and look at what's actually going on. The strategy, at least in its broad strokes, makes sense if you want to change the law or move in a different direction. When the dust finally settles, Trump may get at least some of what he wants, maybe even a lot of it, once the Supreme Court weighs in. Trump is already getting what he wants. He wants retribution and to look like the big bad wolf. What we have to worry about is what the Heritage Foundation wants and what Musk wants. That's where it gets tricky. That's where it gets sticky. Everybody is so Trump focused, forgetting that Trump has the attention span and the wherewithal of a toddler. He has puppets. And everybody is he is the puppet. He is puppeteers. Everybody's focused on the puppet instead of the ventriloquist. For instance, Trump has been operating without a fully staffed Justice Department, and it has shown up in the form of serious mistakes in court proceedings. Trump has allowed Elon and other power-hungry motherfuckers to get rid of those who know the ins and outs, the top of the top, the creme de la creme. This is what I was talking about. And he's putting in people that are like, oh yeah, that was a great idea. Yep. Because they want the money. Forgetting that they've watched Trump not pay people and make all sorts of promises. But see, here's the thing. They're going to grift off everyone else. And there are so many people at their own power grab. Just like Trump adapted from his first presidency, everyone else that was on the outside looking in or were just close to the inner sphere of Trump, they learned as well. They're not really there to be loyal. Everybody has an agenda. Everybody is on a power grab. That's why they're no longer even name dropping Trump. Like Emile Bove showing up in New York, it wasn't on behalf of Trump. When Trump is like, oh, I don't know anything about it, he's being honest with y'all. Y'all are just trying to give him more credit than should be accredited to him. To execute his plan, he has been relying on Musk, a volatile force who has already made comments that undercut the administration's legal rationale and effectively concede the absence of any meaningful legal process in the review. He's undercutting it because they're not on the same wavelength, because Musk is not carrying out a plan from Trump. I wish I would stop saying this. You are directing people to look in the wrong fucking direction. I'm going to need the magic show to stop. We can bring David Copperfield back out when we're out of this. We can be entertained later. This is not the time for fluff and puff. And all the while, Trump's moves have been deeply controversial while fueling tangible upheaval in the federal government and American society, which should ultimately make it tougher for the Supreme Court to rule in his favor without attracting harsh scrutiny. It's too late. They've already been attracting harsh scrutiny. That's why they're going to have to be the constitutionalists and the traditionalists that they claim to be. They can easily be impeached because all, minus the minority, who are liberal, lied to get to their seat. Did y'all forget that?